Welcome to the Utah PTA Pulse podcast. My name is Corey Fairholm. I am the immediate past president for Utah PTA and the host of the Pulse podcast. And Angelee.
I'm Angelee Aedo, the vice president of advocacy, your co-host.
Sweet. And today we have with us by phone, amazing what technology can do, Tina Seastrand, the Utah PTA Safety Commissioner. Say hello, Tina.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us tonight, Tina. We appreciate it. And before we begin, Angelee has an icebreaker.
All right. So today's question is, what do you think you're most proud of yourself for?
What are you most proud of yourself for?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tough one, Angelee.
Is this for me or for everybody?
For you, Tina, go for it.
Probably I'm the most proud of that I just stay with things. It's kind of like the tortoise and the hare. I'm not the hare, but I'm the tortoise. I'm steady. I move forward and I just keep pressing forward and stick. If I believe in something, I just will stay with it to the bitter end. And so I just keep going.
I like that.
That's awesome. That's awesome because you know what? There's things that get thrown at you all the time and you go, I give up. I'm done.
Yeah.
But if you keep going, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah. And I try to look at the positive and the bright side of things. And even when things seem dark and dismal, there's always a silver lining. And so I think because I'm older, I've lived long enough, things always turn around. So I try to be positive with that. So anyway.
That's awesome. That's a great trait.
Mm-hmm.
Angelee?
I don't know.
That's a hard question. I'm not kidding.
It's really hard.
And she even threw it out, and she doesn't.
Well, I try not to think about it ahead of time because that's not nice.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
I don't want to prep too much. I don't know. I feel like, I really like that. Like I always want to help people.
Okay.
Sometimes to the detriment of myself, but.
That you're always willing to give and
Yeah.
help other people. That's a
Yeah.
great trait too. Boy, you guys are doing awesome.
So do you get to answer that, Corey, or no?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I know. I'm thinking too. There's so many things.
I was laughing when Tina said she thinks positively, and I'm like, I used to be like that, and then I became more of a realist.
Yeah.
My husband is an optimist, and he's like, it's fine, it's gonna be fine. And I'm like, you didn't think about X, Y, and Z. It's not fine.
No, it's hard. But then as you look, as you get older, things become more sentimental and you look at, your kids and did I do okay raising my kids and are they successful? So, and I have 2 of them still in college. So now I'm like thinking, yeah, raising kids, that was hard and they're successful. So maybe that's,
Yeah.
that's a proud moment for me is that, my kids are successful in life and they're doing well. And so I helped them get there. Maybe.
You did.
Maybe.
You did. You raised them well.
Maybe. Yeah. But there are, as you look back, you think about many things in your life and how you've grown. So good question, Angelee.
Yeah.
I'm going to be thinking about that one all night.
Right.
All week. Thanks.
Yeah.
I might have to come back to you next time and say, guess what? I thought of a proud moment.
Well, I think we're just really hard on ourselves, and we always just look at the things that we didn't do great.
Yeah.
But there's lots of things that we do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all make mistakes. We all mess up at times, and we have to give ourselves grace. And it's okay because we're learning and growing,
And you're right. We are.
And as you were talking about with your children and how they've done, etc. And I I think of Angelee, you with little kids still in the home, and I always feel like cherish the moment, because all of a sudden it's gone and you're like, where did that go? Where did that time go? And you blink and it's over, and you don't have little kids, and now they're all adult kids, and so it's just cherish every day. Life is a gift, so just cherish it.
And you're right. And bad things will happen and good things happen, but you just keep plugging along, right?
Yep.
And you're right, Tina. My kids are all grown, and you're like, oh, I kind of miss the little kids
Yep.
and the football games and the lacrosse games, but you cherish those moments. So great. Thanks for saying all that. So you are the Utah PTA Safety Commissioner. Tell us what does a commissioner do?
Well, I do a lot of stuff, more than when I was the digital wellness specialist. I've got a lot more meetings I attend. I'm more aware of a lot more subject matter. It was all digital safety before, and now I have this list it's expanded, and so I'm having to think about more things. I'm involved with other organizations. Like, I had a board of directors meeting today with a organization that we just signed the MOU for, UCAP, and so it's a learning and growing experience for me, as I'm seeing what other organizations are doing to help our community here in Utah, our state, and so I'm involved with a lot of other organizations. I'm involved a lot more heavily with the PTA. There's more meetings, and I'm learning deeper advocacy. I just listened to the school security task force meeting that was up at the legislature about a little over a week ago. And so there's always something I'm needing to be aware of and do. So
that's awesome. So what are some of the key safety issues and things that Utah PTA is concerned about going into the legislative session this year? Are there going to be any bills we should be worried about?
I am not seeing anything that's numbered yet, but the talk is, they had House Bill 40 last year, which was an update of school safety provisions. That's, where they're trying to make schools safe, and with, recent incidents in our own state as well as the country, safety for schools is always on everybody's mind. And so our legislature is working. They make these laws of things we have to do, and then the challenge is then all the, each school district, the LEAs, they need to comply. And some school districts are better at it than others. We have a lot of districts in the rural part of the state that it's really hard. And the big talk today, as I was listening to it, some of the things was just funding, and we're good at, or I should say, the legislature is good at wanting to create safe schools, but then there has to be a fiscal note tied to that so that these districts can actually do what is being requested of them. So the funding is a big topic, and it's being told, the legislature is being told that they need to help fund what they're requesting. So hopefully that will be something that we can work on in January. So,
well, the funding thing is hard because I don't think anyone would say that school districts don't want to make their schools safer.
Oh,
sure. I don't think anyone says that, but they're like, we only have so much money.
Yep.
And so it's hard when they're expected to do X, Y, and Z, and it's not funded.
Yep.
Well, and safety is such a big issue, and there's such a big concern with safety in schools, because you see what's happening across the state, and we're having incidences at school concerning safety. And when you send your child to school, they're safe. We want them safe and protected, that they come home safe. So there are some real issues that we got to be concerned about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the students want to feel safe, and that they're going to a safe environment, because that affects their ability to learn. And if they go to school feeling anxious and having anxiety attacks because they're worried about what might happen, that doesn't help their ability to learn. And so that's all tied into the health of it. So
And that's true. And that's what we got to really focus on because, we want our children safe. So
absolutely.
So I think you got a big job, Tina. Mm-hmm. You got a huge job this year at the session and making sure our kids, the Utah PTA is letting everyone know that we are concerned about our safety of our school students.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah,
So
the safety. There's so much that we have the schools say child wants to feel safe. The parents want their child to feel safe. But then they get there, and because of devices, we're dealing with, and without the devices, we've always dealt with bullying. And so children cannot feel safe, not because of a firearm, but because of people hurting them, whether it's talking to their face or online. And so, we just developed the cyberbullying resolution, which we'll be able to use at the next session. And that was the other thing I was just going to mention is there's a lot of talk about all the stuff that's coming because of, the cyber world and technology. And it's not just the things that people do for bullying, but it's all the cyber attacks that are happening, and the districts are having to work so hard to protect our students, their data. And so that's another whole thing. And boy, that was talked about as how do we protect, higher ed, but then K through 12, how do we protect students' information? Anyway, that's just another one too.
And you bring that up. There's so many aspects of safety. There's the digital wellness, the, protecting the cyberbullying, bullying, guns, safety, safety in school. So yeah, that's amazing. And you said that you've attended several other partners' meetings. What other committees do you serve on? The outside partners that.
Right. So the main one that's begun is Utah Coalition Against Pornography. I was in a board meeting today. They're having a conference on November 8th down in St. George. And, that's all about protecting children from the harm of pornography. And so, which is kind of the center core of a lot of the harm that's coming over digital media. And so that's one. And then there's Safe UT, which I'm just getting lined up with. I was at another meeting on suicide prevention. And so that ties together with how does, digital safety is affecting suicide rates and how are we doing and how do we help students protect themselves. And so I attended a meeting last week with that. And wow, let's see. I know that there's some others that are coming up that are on Zoom. And a lot of it is, and how safety connects to mental health with, NAMI, National Alliance for Mental Illness. We have a group here in Utah, a chapter, I should say, in Utah, and they're getting going. And so they were at the suicide prevention meeting. And so, safety connects to health too, very much so. And so we're just always looking at how do we help kids with all these safe aspects so that their mental health, so that they can learn. So it's all tied together.
Yeah, and safety and health do overlap a lot with each other. So That's great information. Yeah. Man, you do a lot. There's a lot of aspects of safety.
I feel like a lot of our commissioners, we say that they're over safety or health or education, but they all include so much
of each other's.
Yeah. They all kind of tie together, but they really cover such broad topics that it's a lot.
No, there's a lot. And just when Tina listed everything, cyberbullying, gun safety, mental health, internet safety, there's a lot. A lot more than what we ever faced as children, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
we just weren't aware. I don't know. So, Tina, what would a local safety commissioner do? And do local PTAs have safety commissioners?
I've actually asked that question because it would be really great if, I had a way, we could figure that out to connect with them. I feel like at the local, particularly, at the school level, it's probably pretty difficult to get a safety commissioner because they're trying to get a president-elect, secretary, treasurer. We need the legislative vice president that's going to advocate. And so those tend to take more of our volunteer up front. But I think that the PTA itself, and if they have someone that wants to be involved, I think it'd be great. And I would love to connect with them on that, that we could talk and they could understand, what the different aspects of safety. But if you don't have one, I thought about that and how do we, as a local PTA, and I think starting out, the local PTA is already involved. They're involved in the school. They're, the big thing, getting people to join PTA and be on the school community council so that you know what's going on in your school. Get to know the principal, the secretaries, the janitors. They're a great resource to find out. In an elementary school, I know that I always wanted to get to know my child's teacher and the principal and, like as mentioned, the secretaries. And, that's a very informative thing. You can know a lot of what's going on and just being a part of the school and showing that you care and they see your face weekly. If you go help in the classroom, you can see if there's bullying issues going on or, you hear things and learn things. And so I guess for a local person, it would be to be involved. I know life is busy. A lot of women are working. We have to take care of our home front, but pick one little thing that you can do where you can be involved at the school so you can get in the school periodically, whatever that is for you, and then get to know, the teacher, the principal, whether in a junior high, you can do that. Junior high and high school, you can't really be in the classroom as much as you could in an elementary school. But I think just being involved and aware and just taking the time to care a little bit, it really works. It goes a long way. And then you can be a part of knowing things. And if you have a concern, you reach out to the principal, the vice principal, and say, hey, what's going on at our school? Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's one thing. The National PTA, I actually was looking that up today, knowing I had this podcast coming up, and the National PTA actually has, it's called Mobilizing Family Stakeholders, and they say get in the know what's going on, ask questions at your school, and then take action and be involved. So we kind of have a pattern of how we can help and know things.
And that's great because, there's safety issues. I mean, even just walking to school, the roads and the crosswalks and making sure that those are safe. So, walk your kids to school, see what the roads are like and how, obstacles they face along that way. Just getting involved and being aware of your surroundings and your community. So I like that advice.
Well, we talked about this earlier on a different podcast, but we talked about how it's really good for PTAs and school committee councils to work together.
Yeah.
And when you brought up the walking routes, that's one thing that school community councils are over there in charge of, like creating that safe walking route plan. But it's so great when other parents make that walk and or ride their bike on that designated safe walking route to, to help decide. It's better to have more eyes on it than just one and walk it during the school time and other times and see, is this really actually the safest route, or can we push for another sidewalk here, or can we advocate for another crosswalk, or I think that's all really great.
That's being part of the community and just being aware.
And that connects you to your city. I know where I live in Holiday, we had at Olympus High School, they had an issue with students crossing in an area that was very dangerous, and kids were, it was very unsafe. And so the city, they got Holiday City to step in and help. And we need another crosswalk with flashing lights at this location. And so, and it was, with the community council and with the community. And so, because cities really want their schools to be safe also. They don't want to be in the news that someone was hurt in their city, because then it looks bad on them. And so we do, like you say, we need to communicate. And Angelee, I'm a big believer. All my years being on a school community council, I always encouraged the PTA. I said, someone in the PTA needs to come to our meetings. It would be great if you could be a voted member of the community council. And if that doesn't work, at least attend, so you know what's going on. And like, because it's what's going on, but it's also money and resources. Because, the PTA has their funds, the school community council has all the land trust money, and then the principals have money. They don't always share what money they have, but, all working together to make the school for a better place. So if you can get the PTA at community council meeting, that is a good thing.
Good, because that's what we just said in our last one. So perfect, good timing there, Tina.
Yeah.
But then you also, brought up a good point, because the PTA, School Community Council, principal school district, but they also work with the community. So it's building that as part of our mission statement. There you go.
Yep.
Advocating for all children with the communities and families to empower them and engage them to make sure our kids are safe.
And I think families, if they're able to, when they know there's a safety need, especially, they want to help. I know there was a parent at one of the schools that my kids went to that after COVID realized that maybe having a air purifier in the classrooms would be helpful with germs and things like that. And so they and their company were able to supply air purifiers for all the classrooms.
And that helps. There you go.
And I love that. They were it's just like what's one more thing we can do?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Hey, Tina, do you have a safety committee? Can people?
I do.
Local leader. Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we've had one meeting, and we're just trying to get going, and we've probably got 15 or so members. And it's just a wide variety of people from different other organizations. There's some people from PTA that join, and we love to have, other views and other opinions and know what's going on and get added input. So,
can people join your committee?
Yes, absolutely. They just you need to be a member of the PTA, and you need to fill out your community agreement form, and then you can be a part of that. So I would love to have anyone on.
What's your email, Tina?
My email is Tina, TINA, at utahpta.org.
So they can reach out to you if they're interested in serving on the safety commission and be able to be involved in that discussion.
Yep. I would
That'd
love
be awesome.
Anyone.
And especially since there might be some safety issues that the legislature will be covering, more voices, right?
Yep.
Would be great. Okay. Well, man, thank you for your time and what you do for the Safety Commission of Utah PTA, because that's a big job. And we appreciate what you're doing, because there are so many things that we need to be aware of and speak to.
Yep. No, I appreciate that I've had the opportunity to just be a part of a good organization and just do my little part. And I marvel at everyone else around me that's working very hard and knows a lot, and I'm just always working to be better. So just trying to learn.
Thank you. Thank you, because, we've been doing this for 100 years, and what? Safety was a big issue 100 years ago. Still is. So
Still is.
Let's just keep moving it along and making sure our kids are safe at school. So thank you for school and in the community and in their lives, right? So it's the whole thing. It's the whole child.
Yes.
So anything else you want to add, Tina?
No, I just appreciate this opportunity that you invited me to come, and I just enjoy doing this work, and I can just keep moving forward, just like I said before.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the podcast tonight and
Yep.
for the things you do as safety commissioner. So, Tina, at home you can dance.
Ready, go.